Welcome to the Majestic Truth podcast. Join us as we delve into the mysteries of the universe, explore the unexplained, and shed light on some of the most important events that have occurred and are occurring in our world today. Get ready to open your mind, expand your horizons, and discover the extraordinary. This is the Majestic Truth podcast. And now your host, Michelle.
Welcome back, truth seekers, to another episode of the Majestic Truth podcast, the show that explores the most intriguing mysteries and unexplained phenomena from our world and beyond. I'm your host, Michelle, and today we will be exploring the Shag Harbour UFO incident of 1967. Now, before we kick off the show here, head on over to majestictruth.com/episode 23. That's majestictruth.com/episode and the number 23 to see the overview of this particular episode. Now, let me give you an event overview. Shag Harbour, a quiet fishing village, awakens to the unexplained. Shag Harbour, a quaint fishing village nestled along the picturesque coastline of Nova Scotia, was a place where life moved at a peaceful pace. Its residents went about their daily routines, casting their nets into the vast Atlantic Ocean in search of bounty from beneath its depths. Little did they know that their serene existence was about to be shattered by an event that would forever change their lives. On the evening of October 4th, 1967, as twilight settled upon Shag Harbour, an eerie calm enveloped the village. The air was crisp and cool, carrying whispers of anticipation for the approaching autumn season. Families gathered around dinner tables filled with freshly caught seafood and shared tales of their day's adventures. As night fell and darkness blanketed the village, a faint hum pierced through the silence. Curiosity stirred among those who were still awake, drawing them to their windows and porches in search of its source. And then it happened. A spectacle that defied explanation. A large, unidentified object descended from above with grace and purpose, its brilliant lights illuminating the darkened sky like stars on a moonless night. Witnesses described it as an otherworldly sight, silent yet powerful, as it made its descent towards Earth. The residents of Shag Harbour watched in awe and disbelief as this mysterious craft crashed into the waters just off the coast. Waves surged in response to this unexpected intrusion, while startled seabirds took flight in alarm. The tranquility that once embraced Shag Harbour was abruptly shattered by this enigmatic event. Fear mingled with curiosity as eyewitnesses grappled with what they had just witnessed. Their descriptions varied but shared one common thread: astonishment at something so inexplicable happening within their peaceful haven. News spread throughout Shag Harbour and neighboring communities. In an era before smartphones and instant communication, the word traveled through whispered conversations, telephone calls, and urgent knocks on doors. Everyone wanted to make sense of what they had seen, seeking solace in collective understanding. The incident triggered a swift response from both civilian and military agencies. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police, along with the Canadian Coast Guard, Canadian Forces Navy, and Air Force, mobilized their responses to investigate the crash site. A sense of urgency pervaded their actions as they recognized the potential significance of this event. Meanwhile, across the border in the United States, an influential entity known as the U.S. Condon Committee took notice of Shag Harbour's UFO incident. Comprised of esteemed scientists and researchers dedicated to studying unidentified flying objects, they sought to unravel the mysteries that lay hidden within such encounters. Their involvement added a new layer of intrigue to an already perplexing case. The U.S. Condon Committee brought expertise and credibility to bear on this inexplicable event in Shag Harbour's history. As days turned into weeks and weeks into months, investigators meticulously examined physical evidence collected from the site. Debris recovered from underwater became a focal point for analysis, each fragment holding clues that could unlock answers about what transpired on that fateful night. The Shag Harbour UFO incident left an indelible mark on both residents and researchers alike. Its legacy continues to shape our understanding of UFO phenomena, even decades later. All right, let's load up a newspaper article from Fort McMurray today, from Monday, July 30th, 2001. UFO sighting mystery remains. 30 years later, after residents reported a UFO sighting, it is still considered one of the most important ever. This is by the Canadian Press by Alison Ault. Shag Harbour. Lawrence Smith stares out through a thick, milky fog hanging heavily over Shag Harbour's quiet bay. There, he points, only a kilometer or so out from this rocky shore, is the spot many of the residents of this sleepy town believe holds a mystery that has captivated the world and eluded government officials and sci-fi buffs, looking for clues into what has been called one of the most important UFO sightings ever. Something came down here, there's no doubt about it, Smith, his eyes squinting with intensity, says in a heavy South Shore drawl. I'm not sure what it was. It made me wonder, way out there in space, if there's some other type of life besides us. Whatever that object was, it came from somewhere, and our authorities don't know anything about it. So they're saying. Smith, now 68, was a 34-year-old fisherman on October 4th, 1967, when the RCMP called him at around 11 p.m. to see if he could take his boat out in the Sound. There were reports they told him that what looked to be a plane might have gone down in the harbor. Smith jumped at his truck and raced to the wharf, where dozens of people had already gathered and were buzzing about a mysterious object that glowed a dull orange. Cars lined the shoreline near the old Moss plant, their headlights trained on the site where they said something had plunged into the water. God, it was quite a fiery-looking sight with all those lights, says Smith, wearing a T-shirt with a picture of a flying saucer and a logo that reads Shag Harbour, home of the 67 UFO visit. It was a lovely night, no moon or anything, and no stars. It was just a dark, calm night. Smith, a couple buddies, and an RCMP officer jumped in his boat, traveling at full throttle out to where they thought the plane had crashed. The men had laid outlines and hooks to retrieve debris and help survivors into the vessel. But they found no debris, no survivors, and nothing to indicate a plane had gone into their bay. All we found was a patch of yellowish-brown foam on the water. The color looked like burnt pancakes to me. When they're gold and good and brown, says Smith, one of the few surviving fishermen who witnessed the strange happenings that night. It was a strip of foam that looked like a runway to me, where something came down on the water and sunk, or the lights went out and it lifted off again. By this point, the RCMP, a Halifax newspaper, and other agencies were receiving a flurry of calls from people along the coast, including fishing captains, motorists, and an Air Canada captain. All of them said they had seen an unusual object that had several lights and looked nothing like a conventional aircraft. The Air Canada captain, flying a DC-8 over southeastern Quebec, reported seeing a large rectangular object, followed by a string of lights at about 7:20 p.m. Seconds later, he said, there were several huge explosions near the object, while small lights flickered around it. Chris Stiles witnessed the object from his bedroom that looked out over Halifax Harbor, just 12 years old. He ran from his home in Dartmouth down to the waterfront to figure out what was hovering over the ocean. What I saw was an orange sphere that was probably 60 feet in diameter, slightly above the water, not making a sound, just tracing the shoreline, said Stiles. It just gave me a cold feeling inside, like this is what you're not supposed to see. As he and the less than 700 residents of Shag Harbour puzzled over the object, the Royal Canadian Air Force moved in to investigate, and the Navy dispatched a team of divers to search for wreckage. They could find nothing, although some fishermen said they saw divers bringing up shiny pieces of debris, according to Stiles' book. By this point, speculation was growing that the orange object, some say floated noiselessly in the skies over the South Shore, was not an airplane. Days after the incident, the Halifax Chronicle Herald was emblazoned with a bold 2-inch red headline that read, "Could be something concrete in Shag Harbour UFO, RCAF." By 10:20 a.m., the Rescue Command Center in Halifax was referring to the object as a UFO, having eliminated the possibility that it was a crashed airplane, Stiles writes. Despite the Canadian Forces Maritime Command called off the official search on October 9th, concluding, in his report, there was not a trace, not a clue, not a bit of anything. There was never any official explanation, but theories swirled, particularly since the event occurred at the height of the Cold War and near CFB Shelbourne, a top-secret submarine detection base. For years, that's how the incident was treated, an unexplained phenomenon that most in the community gladly let drift into obscurity. Many were afraid the object could come crashing down on their village again. They spoke little of it, says Smith, whose brother still won't talk about the night of October 4th, 1967. But that quiet lifted earlier this year when Stiles' book was released, and the local post office released a commemorative stamp depicting a flying saucer hovering over water with a lighthouse and boat beneath it. In an instant, people in this shore town were dealing with a buzz that stretched around the world. So as the years passed, the Shag Harbour UFO incident continued to captivate the minds of both residents and researchers alike. The quiet fishing village had become synonymous with one of the most intriguing and unexplained events in Canadian history. The incident had a profound impact on those who experienced it firsthand. Many residents found themselves grappling with questions that seemed impossible to answer. How could something so otherworldly occur in their own backyard? It was a topic that continued to be whispered about in hushed tones at community gatherings and local pubs. Researchers from around the world descended upon Shag Harbour, eager to uncover any additional clues that might provide a breakthrough in understanding what happened on that fateful night in 1967. Their tireless efforts were met with frustration as they grappled with limited resources and an ever-elusive truth. One such researcher was Dr. James McDonald, a renowned physicist who had dedicated himself to investigating UFO phenomena. His involvement brought a new level of credibility to the case and drew attention from organizations like Project Blue Book.
Well, what do you know?
What do you know? Project Blue Book aimed to investigate UFO sightings across North America. Dr. McDonald's passionate pursuit of answers led him down various avenues of inquiry. He interviewed witnesses extensively and analyzed every piece of available evidence meticulously. His effort helped shed light on previously undisclosed details surrounding this mysterious incident. Through his research, Dr. McDonald discovered an interesting correlation between radar records from nearby military bases and witness accounts describing unusual aircraft movements before and after the crash. This revelation added weight to their claims and further heightened the intrigue among investigators. Despite all these efforts, however, many questions remain unanswered even decades later, a testament to both the enigmatic nature of UFO phenomena and our limitations as human beings. The Shag Harbour UFO incident had become a symbol of the unknown, a reminder that there are still mysteries in this world that defy explanation. The legacy of the Shag Harbour incident extended far beyond the borders of the small fishing village. It became a touchstone for UFO enthusiasts and researchers worldwide, who saw it as proof that there was something more to our reality than meets the eye. The incident sparked debates, fueled theories, and inspired countless individuals to delve deeper into the realm of unidentified flying objects. Whether one believes in extraterrestrial life or remains skeptical about such phenomena, there is no denying the profound effect that the Shag Harbour UFO incident has had on those touched by it. It serves as a reminder that sometimes truth is elusive, and our perception of reality can be challenged by events beyond our comprehension. As we conclude our journey through Shag Harbour's extraordinary tale, we leave behind a legacy of unanswered questions and unsolved mysteries. The residents continue to live their lives surrounded by whispers of what occurred on that night in 1967, whispers carried on ocean breezes and etched into local folklore. The Shag Harbour UFO incident will forever hold its place within Canada's rich history, reminding us that sometimes the truth lies hidden beneath the waves, waiting to be discovered by those brave enough to seek it. There's a Facebook page for the Shag Harbour UFO Incident Society. They have events like the Shag Harbour UFO Expo that takes place September 27th to the 29th in Yarmouth. Check it out if you're interested, facebook.com/Shag Harbour UFO. Send me your thoughts about the Shag Harbour UFO to truth@majestictruth.com. I'd love to hear from you. All right, Truth Seekers, that concludes this episode of Majestic Truth. For more information on this episode about the Shag Harbour incident of 1967, visit majestictruth.com/episode 23. I hope you've enjoyed exploring the depths of the unknown with us today. Remember, the pursuit of truth and the quest for knowledge are ongoing journeys. So stay curious, stay open-minded, always follow your dreams, and keep seeking answers. And if you have your own theories or stories to share about UFOs and other conspiracies, reach out to us on social media or email us at truth@majestictruth.com. Don't forget to mark your calendars and set your alarms because our next episode will be available in 2 weeks on your favorite podcast app. Trust us, you won't want to miss it. Till then, keep your eyes in the skies, your mind open, and remember, the truth is out there.
For updates, behind-the-scenes content, and a chance to engage with fellow truth seekers, stay connected with us on social media. Find us on Twitter @TruthSeekerPod, Instagram @Majestic Truth Seekers, and TikTok @Majestic Truth Seekers. Thanks for listening.